For thousands of years, Polaris, the North Star, has been a steady and reliable presence in the night sky. It has served as a cosmic compass, always pointing north, guiding travelers and explorers across vast lands and open seas. Polaris has long symbolized stability and guidance, inspiring not only ancient navigators and astronomers but also dreamers and storytellers throughout history. Yet, in recent times, something strange and unsettling has been unfolding above us. The star we have always trusted seems to be acting differently, its behavior becoming unpredictable and mysterious. Scientists who have studied Polaris for decades are beginning to express concern. Could the North Star be dying? Is it possible that within a few decades, it might vanish entirely from our skies? Even more unnerving is the possibility that Polaris may have already exploded in a spectacular cosmic event, and we simply haven't seen the evidence yet. This is the story of Polaris, a star that has been central to human history and navigation for millennia but now might be nearing the end of its stellar life. Polaris has a unique and almost magical significance in the night sky. Located in the constellation Ursa Minor, it sits nearly directly above Earth's rotational north pole. Because of this precise alignment, as Earth spins on its axis, Polaris appears almost motionless, a fixed point while all other stars circle around it. This characteristic made it incredibly important to ancient sailors and explorers who lacked modern tools like GPS or detailed maps. Instead, they relied on the steady glow of Polaris to determine direction, estimate latitude, and navigate unknown territories across oceans and deserts. For millions of people living in the Northern Hemisphere, Polaris was the ultimate point of reference, not just a star, but a cosmic anchor that represented constancy, truth, and trust. The star became embedded in the cultures and myths of civilizations, symbolizing a steady guide through darkness and uncertainty. But now, this constant might be changing. Though Polaris appears as a single bright star to the naked eye, it is actually a complex system made up of 3 stars. At its center is Polaris A, a yellow-white supergiant star. Orbiting close by is a smaller companion called Polaris AB, and farther away is Polaris B, first discovered in 1780. These 3 stars form a gravitational dance, their mutual pulls influencing each other's orbits, brightness, and internal activity. Polaris A itself is massive, about 5 times the mass of our Sun, and shines with a brilliance far beyond our stars. However, as a supergiant star, Polaris A is already in the late stages of its life. Unlike smaller stars like our Sun, which can remain stable for billions of years, massive stars live fast and die young. After millions of years shining brightly, they begin to change rapidly, sometimes ending their existence in powerful explosions called supernovae. Scientists believe this could be the fate awaiting Polaris. An astonishing fact about Polaris is that it is roughly 323 light-years away from Earth. This means that the light we see tonight from Polaris actually left the star more than 3 centuries ago, around the early 1700s. When you look up at Polaris, you are seeing it as it appeared long before modern inventions like electricity, cars, or advanced science. Because of this delay, if something dramatic, such as a supernova explosion, has already happened to Polaris, we wouldn't know for hundreds of years. The light from such an event would still be traveling through space, slowly making its way to our eyes. The possibility that Polaris might have already exploded without our knowledge is both thrilling and unsettling. Recently, astronomers have observed unusual behavior from Polaris that has raised alarms. Historically, Polaris has been known to pulsate, its brightness rising and falling in a predictable cycle. This rhythmic pulsing results from changes in the star's outer layers as it expands and contracts over time. However, this once steady pattern has become erratic. The period of Polaris's pulsation has lengthened by about 4.5 seconds, a subtle change but one that suggests the star's internal structure is becoming unstable. These shifts could be caused by gravitational influences from its companion stars or by changes deep within Polaris itself. This erratic behavior hints that Polaris may be rapidly evolving and moving toward the final phases of its life. Polaris is not alone in exhibiting strange behavior among the stars. In 2019, Betelgeuse, a giant star in the Orion constellation, shocked astronomers when it suddenly dimmed dramatically. This unexpected change led many to speculate that Betelgeuse might soon explode in a supernova. Although that explosion hasn't yet occurred, the event served as a reminder of how little we truly understand about the final, chaotic stages of massive stars. Now, Polaris is showing its own signs of instability, but unlike Betelgeuse, it hasn't drawn nearly as much attention from space agencies or the public, despite displaying similarly mysterious changes. If Polaris were to explode as a supernova, it would be one of the most awe-inspiring celestial events in human history. For days or even weeks, the star could outshine every other object in the night sky, possibly becoming visible even during daylight hours. The brightness could rival that of the moon, shining with brilliant white, blue, or even red hues as the star sheds its outer layers and collapses inward. Eventually, the light would fade, and Polaris would disappear from view. The constellations we know, especially Ursa Minor, would never be the same again. The North Star's disappearance would mark the end of thousands of years of tradition, mythology, and practical use in navigation. Fortunately, Polaris is about 323 light-years away, which means it poses no real danger to Earth. Even if it exploded as a supernova, the distance is so vast that no harmful radiation or gravitational effects would reach us. Instead, we would witness a spectacular visual display, a cosmic reminder of the universe's immense scale and power. The loss of Polaris would have profound effects on humanity beyond just the scientific community. Sailors, hikers, and navigators who rely on the star as a stable northern reference would have to rethink their methods. Traditional navigation techniques that depended on Polaris would become obsolete, and scientific instruments calibrated to its position would require adjustment. New stars might have to be selected as points of alignment. On a cultural level, losing Polaris would leave a symbolic void. It would represent the end of an era, closing a long chapter in human history and mythology tied to the star. The truth is that stars are not eternal. They are born, live out their lifetimes, and eventually die. What we are witnessing with Polaris could simply be the final act in a stellar life that began millions of years ago. Yet, even as it fades, Polaris continues to serve a purpose. By studying its changes, astronomers learn more about how stars evolve, especially complex systems involving multiple stars. Polaris offers valuable insight into the dynamic and ever-changing universe, reminding us that even the brightest and most dependable points of light are not permanent. At this moment, we don't know for certain what will happen to Polaris. It might stabilize and continue shining steadily for many more years. It might continue to dim and grow more unstable. Or, it could already be gone, with its final light still racing through the cosmos toward Earth. Whatever the outcome, the night sky remains alive and filled with mysteries, constantly shifting in ways that keep us watching, wondering, and learning. As we observe Polaris and other stars, we are reminded that the universe is a vast, dynamic place, one that invites us to be lifelong students, gazing upward and exploring its secrets. The story of Polaris is not just about a single star. It is about humanity's enduring fascination with the cosmos and our place within it. Thank you for joining us on this cosmic journey. If you want to learn more about fascinating space stories and stay updated on the latest discoveries, be sure to subscribe and keep watching the skies.